On the topic of Kyle though, and how like he has kind of he has this freedom with Purdy. I guess he told Greg Olson before the Cowboys game that he was gonna be conservative in that game against
Well, he
Dallas.
was. I mean, he went for field goals a lot. They ended with
Yeah,
19 points. And when we asked him after the game, we were like, well, 19 points? I mean, what happened? He was like, well, it's kind of the game we were expecting. Oh, okay.
like
Well, you won. You
it's
won.
like, well, could have you scored more points and just settled,
But
or like was
it's
that?
almost like he was like, look, it's Dak. We just needed to score 19. Come on. It's freaking Dak. We knew that he was going to lose the game. We just had to not lose it ourselves. And you'd be like, okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough. You know.
That's true
Yeah, no,
because, like,
yeah,
again,
yeah.
Brock Purdy didn't throw any touchdowns, but he also didn't throw any interceptions. That's really all they needed to win this game is just play a safe game, really. And
And they did.
so, thinking about the fact that the Cowboys they have a good defense, so if they wanted to go conservative against them because of that, I mean, I can understand that. But you also have you're going
Can't
up
do it this
against
week.
now that
Can't do it
exactly
this
you're
week.
going up
Can't
against
do
the
it.
Eagles who have a better defense
They won't beat
and a
themselves.
better offense.
They won't beat
Exactly.
themselves. Yeah.
So
Dallas
what
will beat themselves for sure. Yep. And
what
did.
version of Kyle can we expect? Like, do you think there's
Dude.
any chance that he was like saving some plays because he knew that if he got to this point against the Eagles, he would have to, throw the kitchen sink at him to possibly win?
I don't know. It's hard to. I'm going to try to get in his head. But to me, the game comes down to him. And I think what's interesting is going into last week's game, everyone's like, well, how's Brock going to do? How's Brock going to do? The question was how Kyle's going to do. And Kyle messed up in the first half. Brock was running for his life. He was under pressure. He had no run game. And the vets on the team had to go to Kyle and be like, dude, can we just line up and run? Can we impose our will on that team? And Kyle's like, cool. To his credit, absolutely. Yeah, I trust you guys. And they did it. But Kyle, and this, to his credit, he adjusts. But his problem is that he's so good and he knows it. And his ego is a little too big. And he comes out and wants to, I don't know what it was. Did he want to trick Dan Quinn? Did he want to show off to Dan Quinn? Did he want to show off to the world? Let me show you what I can do. Let me make it about me right now in my play design when it's a bunch of tricky, cute stuff. It's a bunch of tricky, cute stuff, and you're better than Dallas. And you could just take it to him, and then you do eventually. And so it's not about Kyle. It's not about Kyle. It has to be about the team and what they do best, not what, what makes him look smartest. And I think most of those times it's a Venn diagram that go together. Like what makes Kyle look the smartest is what makes the Niners the best. But sometimes they don't overlap, like that first half against Dallas. So as long as he's tuned into what his team does best against that team, they could win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just question Kyle's mindset at the most pressurized moments when the season comes down to it. Because, frankly, he's 0 for 3. But this is his time to redeem himself. I mean, how many times did Michael Jordan lose to the Pistons before he finally beat him? This is Kyle's time. You can
It
do
is.
it. We
It is.
believe in you.
I feel like every year he gets a little bit better with it.
That's fair.
More confident and just like because in the past I feel like he tries to do too much where he plays outside of his own game and what the 49ers outside of their own identity.
And he crumbles in the second half. This time, he redeemed himself in the second half.
He's been this whole team has been awesome.
Yeah,
in the second half and
Yep.
and the adjustments that they've made. George Kittle, I think, mentioned the fact that maybe we should just score some more points in the first half or early in the game, and we wouldn't be in these tight situations at the end where we have to make like a miracle play or something like that. What do you take with that? Because you pointed out the fact that they settled for field goals early. Maybe that was kind of the the plan, but I mean they can't do that again, right? So
Yeah.
what,
I feel
what do
like
you
there
think?
was a streak where the Niners were on where they were just obliterating teams from the moment the game started, except for not the Miami one because they gave up a 70-yard touchdown in the first play, but like Tampa. Tampa was never in that game. But then I feel like since then, the Niners have been doing just enough to win.
Yeah.
Just enough. And then pretty much, so like that's not going to, you can't do that this week. It's Philly. You're on the road. It's your fault that you're on the road. They're at least as good as you. You got to take them seriously. I mean, the fact that the Niners are 2.5-point underdogs on the road against a team with a better record is really just a testament to how much people respect the 49ers. It's kind of a pick 'em game. So the Niners have to have a better effort than they did last week. They got to be better on special teams. They got to be way better on offense. The run game's on Kyle. You have all the pieces you want. Like, you got to find something that works and make it work, because it can't come all down to Brock Purdy running around being Fran Tarkenton. Like, that's not the formula to beating Philly. It's the formula to beating Dallas, I guess, and Seattle, but not this week. But I think we feel like Kyle's going to rise to the occasion, right? He's really good. He's the coach of the year. He's freaking coach of the year, right?
I think he should get the nod for that. But yeah,
I think he's going to. I think he's going to.
We'll see what happens in this game,
Yeah.
because it's pretty much the two best coaches duking it out at this point. But I feel like Kyle is maybe just wanted to show that, okay, he wants to pass with Purdy, because maybe he's just trying to set that up, the Eagles, to think that, okay, they're passing more, we don't have to worry as much about them running the football. So I don't know if that's
possible. I think he's trying to play mind games with him with this Christian McCaffrey stuff, not practicing him.
A little, yeah.
Like, McCaffrey's going to play. Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, he had 100 or 0% chance that he would not play, right? So he's definitely going to be out there. But at this point in the game, when everything is so tight and you're just as good as the other team, you kind of got to pull out all the stops and this extra.
I think they are. But real quick, like, let's put our minds in ourselves in the mind of the Eagles defensive coordinator. I mean, wouldn't you stack the box? You know the Niners want to run the ball on you. And, like, are you that scared of Brock Purdy? Like, no offense, but he's not the biggest quarterback. He doesn't have the strongest arm. I mean, he's not, like, just going to dice you up way down the field. Can't you feel pretty good with Darius Slay and James Bradbury feeling like, I'm going to pull my safeties up, load the box, and kind of dare the Niners to take shots down the field? Like, I want you to.
I mean, they could do it. They have the talent.
Yeah. And maybe Brock will burn him, but, like, wouldn't you kind of want to see him do it before you just, like, play back on him? I don't know. I feel like I don't think the Eagles are just going to let the Niners come out and run right away like Dallas didn't.
I mean, no team has.
I feel like
that's always the thought process that, oh, this is going to be the game that the 49ers are going to be able to run the football. And then, they come out trying to run, and then they get kind of stifled.
It's hard. Yeah, it's really hard. You got 5-6 dudes on the line. Like, every team since the Niners were just running through them with Raheem Mostert 3 years ago are like, okay, so the first thing we have to do with the Niners, stop the run. Check one. Like, you have to do that. And that's a lot of times why Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy have had some wide open guys and some great numbers, is because teams are selling out to stop the run. But what's great about what makes Philly so tough is, I don't know if they really have to sell out to do anything. I mean, they're kind of like the Niners. They're just really good.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if you had to think about one way that the 49ers on offense could kind of exploit this Eagles defense, like, is there even any way? Like, I'm thinking you gotta protect Brock Purdy. That's one, which is easier said than done. I was encouraged by what the 49ers offensive line did against the Cowboys, only giving up 2 sacks against that team. Now, the Eagles, way better at sack rate than the Cowboys are. Best team getting sacks. But I was encouraged. So we'll see. But I also think there's some things that Shanahan could do to help Brock Purdy out, right? And keep him upright in this game. Maybe get some quick throws going, things like that. Is there anything that you think, the 49ers could take advantage of?
Well, I mean, it's like, obviously the go-to answer is, hey, run the ball. But as Trent Williams said today, we just talked about, it's not going to be that easy right away. Like, they're expecting it. So you could say, well, hey, play action, take shots down the field. Well, that involves Mike McGlinchey blocking Hassan Reddick for 3 seconds. I mean, that's kind of dangerous too, especially early in the game. That could lead to turnover, sacks, big plays. So it's funny. Philly is the RPO team. They've been doing it for a long time. And what's interesting about the RPO is it's not a big play. You're not going to get chunk plays from it. It's just kind of like a 10-yard throw over the middle or whatever. But it might work. If you might want to RPO the RPO team, because if they're going to, like, sell out to stop the run, well, then you can kind of use that against them and, like, get some easy slants to Brandon Ayuk on the backside, like some fake tosses, quick throw. Like, if they're going to be, like, triggering to stop the run, use that against him, get some real quick throws, get him to back off, and then run the ball. Like, Kyle, I feel like Andy Reid did that to the Niners. Remember, the Niners used to be the jet sweep team, but they don't really do it anymore, and I don't know why. And Andy Reid came in here and was like, remember that stuff you guys used to do? I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And he scored a bunch of touchdowns. The Niners could do that. Like, oh, they like to – they're known for their RPOs. Like, let me show Nick Sirianni how it's freaking done. Coach of the year right here, baby. I don't know. Be one thing. Quick throws. You got to get the ball out of his hands. You got to get some yak.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I did my preview earlier this morning for the 49ers offense, and I was like, this could set up to be a big game potentially for Deebo Samuel, because one, he's really good against zone coverages. The Eagles corners play zone about 60% of the time. So that could be an opportunity right there. I mean, their linebackers, while they're still very good, maybe that's one area you want to be able to attack. George Kittle as well. I mean, we talked about the chemistry that he has with Purdy. I mean, that could be a matchup that you like in this game. I mean, the thing is, it's so hard to defend everyone on this 49ers team. Yeah, the Eagles are probably best equipped to do it, but someone's going to have a one-on-one matchup, right? It's, at some point. So that's what you can take advantage of.
And leverage the fact that there's multiple threats. Like, use misdirection. There was a play I forget which game it was, but it was as simple as fake toss to the right to McCaffrey, quick throw back to Ray McLeod, screen. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was that, the Raider game? I went for like 50 yards. It was so obvious and so easy. Of course, if you fake that toss to McCaffrey or Deebo, the defense is going to jump that way, and they're not going to be thinking about Ray McLeod. Like, you need to do stuff like that. I think one of the reasons the run game wasn't working early in the game was you had, first of all, you're just running Christian McCaffrey into a wall between the tackles. And second of all, you're having Juszczyk lead the way. So essentially, as a defense, it's like, well, if Juszczyk's going to lead me to the ball carrier, don't do that. Use misdirection. I think the Niners have the ability to really get these guys, get their heads spinning if they do it correctly. They've done it before.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Like, they can, now that they've shown that, they can use Juice as a decoy and have the defense going that way. And that's a great way also to neutralize an overly aggressive defense, which I think the Eagles are going to come out. They're going to be super aggressive. So that's one way to do it.
They're like the Niners. Exactly. Absolutely. Because what the Eagles are going to do to slow down the Niners is zone read, RPO, assignment football, who has the ball, all that. And that's smart. That's exactly that's what the Eagles do to the Niners. And that's what the Niners can do. I mean, the Niners aren't that kind of team without Trey Lance, but there are other ways that they can sort of play misdirection RPO football with Brock Purdy. I think it would be smart. Otherwise, you're asking your offensive line to really step it up, and in ways I don't know that they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Spencer Burford against Hargrave, that's rough. Sorry.
I mean, this entire Philly defensive line is dangerous. So yeah, you got to take the game out of the offensive line's hands and maybe even Brock Purdy's hands. Like, just get the ball out quickly to one of your playmakers and have them do the rest, because everything is going to have to be earned. Every single yard, every single score.
Get the ball to Ray. Get the ball to Juwan. Don't forget about the dirty work guys that have been playing well all year.
I like Juwan. Juwan's one of those guys. I don't know about Ray. Yes. But Juwan definitely.
I feel like guys. Ray at the end of the season when Deebo was out, took Deebo's role and did a great job. I thought he did a great job.
He didn't get the ball a whole lot. He wasn't getting a lot of targets, but when he did, he
made the most.
He definitely, he definitely.
Yeah. I feel like the kind of guy who's like, okay, if you do that with your 2 touches a game, I'll give you 3. But instead, it's like, see you next year, Ray. Like, wait, whatever.
I mean, that could be one of those things where, okay, they'll at least expect this.
So hell yeah, that's why it works.
Try it. But at the same time, it's like
the last time he got a carry. The last time he got a carry was 60 yards. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, but it's one of those things where if Ray were to make a mistake, then everyone's blaming Kyle. Like, how could you have?
Why does he have the ball? Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Grant, damn well you'd be one of the first writing on Twitter why would you run that with Ray instead of?
Yeah, but at the same time, I know there's so much footage of me being like, give the ball to Ray that I'd have to be kind of careful with that. There are receipts for days on me contradicting myself, so I need to probably be careful with that.
All right, so you're Ray Hive. Okay,
I'm Ray. I'm a team Ray.
Team Ray. Okay, yeah, because I have people in the comments all the time like, when is Jordan Mason gonna get more carries? When is Danny Gray gonna get an opportunity? It's I mean,
don't hold your breath with Danny Gray.
No, I know. I agree. I tell people all the time, maybe Jordan Mason could get some extra carries in this one. I don't know, because Elijah Mitchell dealing with a groin injury, he'll probably play, right? We talked about the fact that Christian McCaffrey is going to play, but I don't know.
I don't
There's
know. Yeah, yeah.
there's just so many playmakers on this
No,
team.
my
It's hard
question
for me
really
to
is
decide.
Elijah Mitchell. My question is Elijah
Yeah,
Mitchell. I think Christian
that's
McCaffrey's
fair.
going to play, but Mitchell can't stay healthy, man.
And a groin injury,
That's
those you
not
can
good.
re-aggravate those linger.
And he
Not
hasn't really looked that great the last couple of weeks. Like, can we get Mason back out there? He's looked great all year.
when he came back from what was it, the MCL sprain,
Yeah,
the first time, the I thought that he looked great when he came back from that. But then after the second injury that he
yeah,
had, since he's come back from that one, he has looked a little slower.
yeah,
But still effective. I mean, still a pretty
yeah,
good one-two punch, but not what he was bringing you in what was it,
yeah.
like week
It feels like
13.
he's just kind of like trying to play because it's the end of the year, and I respect it. But at the same time, like Jordan Mason looks 100% and really, really freaking good. So, thank you, Elijah. But Jordan, JP, you're up.
Mariah says over under Jordan Mason 2 touches. I go with under on
I'm
that
gonna
one,
go with
but
under. I just feel like this could be a game where Debo gets a lot of carries. I
I
think
think
Steph
I
said
think
it.
so.
She's
They
not
haven't done
trusting
it
anyone but the top 5 big guys with the ball in this game. You know, he's not gonna let Ray fumble it on offense in this game. Not gonna let it
right.
happen. Yeah,
Right. And like I mean Debo's one of those guys in the playoffs, like he's gonna turn it up so he can make a play, big play, score from anywhere kind of guy. So
I
I
hope
would give
so.
I hope so.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
I'd
I
give
didn't
the
think he
ball.
looked that great against Dallas. I thought he looked
You
better
know,
against Seattle.
yeah, I thought he'd look
Yeah.
better against Dallas, but because again, Dallas also plays a lot of zone, and I think he had like 40ish yards, something like that.